My name is Lindsay, and I have no idea how to properly express myself. However, through musical, physical art, and storytelling, I have been able to find a way to express myself in a way that I knew my words never could. Through notes on a page, I have been able to express my emotions with only sound as my aid. Through painted brushstrokes, I am able to depict exactly how my anxiety looks and feels, not only for me, but how it looks on the outside. Through storytelling, I am able to explain how I see the world and just why I see the world that way. How is all of this immense storytelling ability possible? Because art is a universal language. Music is likely today's most common form of artistic expression, and I am no stranger to this. I have been using music as a way to express myself since before I can remember. Music is not used simply to banish silence, but to fill it with emotion. These emotions can be defined in 5 major categories, as stated by Cheryl Leimer: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and tenderness. Leimer also defined that these emotions stayed consistent within groups that differed in race, culture, learning disabilities such as autism, hearing disabilities, and those with and without musical training. This only shows that my musical ability has no barriers. I can communicate through anything. How I am able to emote through sound and rhythm to communicate my moods is incredible. And how is this possible? Because music is a universal language. Physical art is the second way that I learned to represent myself without using my words. The use of visual stimuli to create emotions and scenes that I can then live through has always been very important to me and how I communicate every aspect of my young life. The use of color, creating characters, and drawing out what I feel is the ideal life is how I have depicted my entire existence. By using a composition mentioned in Marissa Lewis's writing, I am able to depict the fear and anxiety that I feel every day through physical means such as sensory disruptions. So making a hand grab at a face, bleeding eyes, water filling up lungs. These images cause to make the viewer feel empathy for the subject matter, which is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what anxiety is. It is something to be empathetic about. So, how am I able to show what my anxiety feels like reaching up from the pits of my depression and my greatest fears? Because physical art is a universal language. Finally, storytelling is the last way that I have been able to find solace. Biblical stories, mythology, dystopian fiction, these are all ways that I have found hope in stories. Now, the situations that they're in are very, very different from my own. However, one thing has stayed consistent: the resilience and strength found in the human spirit of each of these characters. And that is something that I have seen like a mirror image in myself since I began telling and writing stories. David Kelly found a way to describe just why it is so easy for me to find solace in these characters, and it is as follows. To keep our abstractions tied in the world, therefore, we need to re-embody them in concretes, to clothe them in specific forms that unite the universality and the abstraction with the specificity and immediacy, the reality of the particular. This is especially important to regard of the normative abstractions that guide our lives. Essentially, grounding real life in fiction is exactly why we find comfort in these things, and exactly why I find comfort in these things. Spinning a tale of an evil stepmother depicts the brokenness and hardships that come with living in a broken home. These stories create parallels that cannot always be directly seen, but have always been something that has comforted me. Stories have shown me that I can do anything with the power that I keep invested in me. Despite the fact that these stories are not always true, they hold a power and lessons that can be embedded in them, and if we choose to believe them, can be very, very powerful. In the words of Robert A. Siegel, I am happy to consider any theory of myth, but not the crude dismissal of a story or a belief as a mere myth. True or false, a myth is never mere. For a call to even conspicuously false story or belief, a mere myth is to miss the power that the story or belief holds for those who accept it. Writing stories has finally been a way that I have indirectly expressed myself through the years. Being embedded with a debilitating fear of evil, I created characters that banished evil from this world. Being so scared to leave my own nest, I created stories of girls who ran so far away that no one knew their name anymore. These are the stories that I wrote and embedded myself in, and then provided myself comfort and solace. How was I able to escape the life I felt trapped in, like a wild bird locked in a tiny cage? Because storytelling is a universal language. Every single form of art, in one way or another, has formed and provided a shelter for me. Through years of practice, I have built up from a skeleton structure to a beautiful home that I never, ever want to leave. Music, physical art, and telling stories have all served to keep me safe when I felt hopeless and scared. Art has helped me show who I really am and helped me to finally and truly be understood. And that is why I am so happy that art is a universal language. Thank you.